Best friends. Bruce is a big, brown, fluffy dog. He is so fluffy that you can't see his big blue eyes, and when he lays down, you can't tell which end is his head or his tail. Bruce lives with lots of other dogs in a dog shelter. This is a place where stray, lost, or abandoned dogs are kept until an owner can be found. At this particular dog shelter, there are all different colours, breeds and sizes of dogs, and they live in a large kennel together. Bruce doesn't like living with all these dogs because they fight over food and water. Bruce is a quiet dog and just wants a peaceful life. He won't fight over anything, and because of this, on many occasions, he doesn't get any food. Even though he is often starving, Bruce can't bring himself to fight for food and would rather go hungry. Sometimes at night, when all the dogs are sleeping and it's quiet in the kennel, you can hear Bruce's tummy rumble, and the dogs around him wake up and growl at him. Every morning at 7, a pretty kennel maid comes in with their breakfast. First she places bowls on the ground along one wall, and then she pours food into them from a big bucket. The dogs go crazy at the sight and smell of food, and they eat as fast as they can. Bruce tries to push his way forward towards the food, but when he sees the smaller dogs being squeezed out by the other, more boisterous dogs, he feels sad. Instead, he makes a gap for the smaller dogs to get to the food and then stands back and watches them eat with relish. When all the other dogs have eaten their fill, Bruce goes up to the bowls and moves them with his nose to eat the scraps which have fallen out around them. After breakfast, it's time for the dogs to have their exercise. The big kennel door is opened and all the dogs run outside into a massive field. Bruce loves to run. He takes great pleasure in stretching his legs as he gallops around the field like a pony, and he enjoys the feel of the wind blowing his fur away from his face. The other dogs bark as they run, but Bruce doesn't. He uses all his energy just for running, and he can run. He runs around and around the field, getting faster and faster with every lap he takes, and he feels so happy. Eventually, a whistle is blown, which is the signal to let all the dogs know it is time for them to go back into the kennel. Sadly, Bruce follows the other dogs and then finds a quiet space in the kennel where he can curl up and take a nap. Here he dreams about living in a place where there are no fences and he can run for miles and miles. Today Bruce has been sleeping for a while and dreaming about running with a beautiful blue butterfly when he was awoken by a little voice saying, "That one, Mummy. I like the look of that dog." Bruce opened his eyes and peered out through his fluffy fur without moving his head. He could see a little boy standing outside the kennel with his mummy pointing in his direction. He thought the little boy was pointing at one of the smaller dogs who were lying close beside him, and so he closed his eyes again. Bruce had been in the kennel long enough to know that most people who came to the dog shelter were looking for small dogs to take home, not big dogs like him. "Which dog are you interested in, young man?" asked the pretty kennel maid. "The big brown fluffy one over there," said the little boy. "That's Bruce," said the kennel maid. "He is much too big for you." At the mention of his name, Bruce lifted his head up and looked at the people outside the kennel. "What about Buddy down here?" the kennel maid suggested as she pointed to a tiny white and black Jack Russell. As the little boy looked over at Buddy, Bruce laid his head back down on his paws and closed his eyes. Buddy did look cute, but he was not what the little boy was looking for, and the little boy knew exactly what kind of dog he was looking for. The little boy looked up at the kennel maid and said, "I want a dog I can run anywhere with. The little dog won't be able to run very far because it only has little legs and will get tired quickly. Bruce is just like the dog I have been dreaming about. Can I have a closer look at him, please?" "Okay, but he is very large when he stands up," said the kennel maid as she unlocked the kennel door and stepped inside. She walked over to Bruce and stroked his head gently. "Bruce, wake up, boy. Someone is here to see you." Bruce stood up and shook himself before following the kennel maid outside the kennel. "Look how big he is, Mummy," said the little boy excitedly. "He is very big, Ben. Are you sure you will be able to handle him?" asked his mummy, feeling a little concerned. Bruce walked over to Ben and they looked into each other's eyes. "Yes, Mummy, we are going to be the best of friends," Ben whispered as he put his arms around Bruce's neck and hugged him. The kennel maid was overwhelmed by the scene before her. She loved seeing a dog getting a new home and was always especially happy when one of the bigger dogs found a new owner. While Ben got to know his new friend, the kennel maid explained that Bruce was 4 years old and, although he was a large dog, he was an extremely gentle boy. His very loving owner had passed away recently and nobody in the family wanted to look after him because he was too big. "Are you sure Bruce is the dog you want?" Ben's mummy asked him. "Yes, please, Mummy. He's perfect." "Okay, Ben, I trust your choice." "Come into the office," said the kennel maid, handing Ben a collar and lead to put on Bruce. "I need to do some paperwork before you can take your new friend home." Bruce sat still while Ben put the collar and lead on him. Then they all walked over to the office. Ben played with Bruce while his mummy filled out the paperwork. When she had finished, the kennel maid took an envelope from her desk drawer and handed it to Ben. "The owner has left a letter to be given to Bruce's new owner," she said to him, "and that's you, Ben. Here you are." Ben opened the letter and read, "Hello. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being Bruce's new person. You must be as loving and kind as my dear Bruce is because you have chosen each other. Bruce loves to run. Allow him to run every day and he will be the happiest dog in the world. I hope he has chosen someone who will enjoy running with him. I know you will be great friends and Bruce will be the loyal companion you have longed for. Stay happy together. Love and kindness from Margie." Quietly, Ben folded the letter, placed it back inside the envelope and handed it to his mummy. Turning to Bruce, he said gently, "I will love you every day. I will run with you every day, and I will make every day happier than the one before. Thank you for choosing me to be your new owner, Bruce." Ben gave his fluffy friend the biggest hug and then said, "Come on, boy. Let me take you to your new forever home." Ben's mummy and the kennel maid watched as Ben led Bruce out of the office, knowing that they would always be great friends, just as Margie knew they would.